Hello.
Hello.
Hi, James, right? Nice to meet you,
Yes.
James.
Nice to meet you too. Hello.
All right, James, give me a few moments. I need to confirm real quick if we're already live so we can start, okay? Give me a few moments.
Yes, sure.
All right, James, are you ready to start? Is everything great on your
Yes,
end?
please. Of course.
All right, so since we're already live, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to our incredible Binance community. And today, we're very thrilled to host another exciting AMA here at Crypto Planet Community. Today, guys, we're diving deep into the world of decentralized finance with XRS, a truly groundbreaking decentralized autonomous organization. Representing XRS straight from France is their community manager, James Walker. So, hi, James, welcome.
Bonjour, everyone. Thank you for to having me. I'm James Walker, and I'm incredibly excited to be here with the Binance community today to introduce you to Xonos. It's at its core, Xoros is an innovative DAO built on robust blockchain technology that is singularly focused on empowering to the individual. We are creating a next generation crypto lending and borrowing ecosystem. What makes us truly unique is our commitment to pure decentralization. We operate without a central authority. Every major decision, from strategic initiatives to platform evolution, is determined by our members through a transparent proposal and voting system. This democratic governance model ensures that the community collectively holds the power, eliminating gatekeepers and censorships. Soros is a protocol designed for everyone, those seeking passive income, crypto savvy borrowers, and even institutional players looking to explore DeFi under a secure, smart governance structure. We believe in transparency, resilience, and a future driven by shared purpose. We are not just building a platform, we're building a truly self governing financial ecosystem.
Thank you very much, James, for that. And that is truly a compelling vision indeed. Now, let us jump right straight into the questions that our community is very eager to know. So, starting with our first question, James, you emphasize your DAO structure, right? So, can you walk us through the specific mechanics? Like, how exactly does a member propose a change, and what ensures the voting process is fair and resistant to manipulation?
Yes, so our governance is handled through our native XAU token. Holding XAU grants voting power, which is directly proportional to the amount it's staked. A proposal starts with a formal on-chain submission, which requires a small token deposit to filter our out spam. Uh, it then enters a discussion phase for community feedback. Finally, it moves to an on-chain voting period where every token holder can cast a vote. This is all executed via smart contracts, meaning the results are transparent, immutable, and automatically enforced. This reliance on the distributed ledger and token weighted voting ensures it's truly democratic and resistant to single entity control.
Thank you very much, James, for explaining us and giving us a breakdown, right, on how the voting process actually works and how you guys are really maintaining, the transparency and the fairness into it. Thank you so much, James, for that. Now, moving ahead to another question. James, the lending and borrowing space, as we know, is very competitive, right? If we just look around the space, right, there's not many similar projects out there. So, can you walk us through the key innovation that sets it apart from, let's say, established DeFi protocols like Aave or Compound?
So our primary edge lies in our governance-driven risk model and our vision for institutional grade DeFi. Where some protocols use static parameters, Sora's risk parameters like collateral factors and liquidation threshold are dynamically managed and collectively fine-tuned by the DAO. This allows us to be more adaptive and resilient to shifting market conditions. Furthermore, we are building specialized tools designed to attract institutional liquidity while maintaining our core decentralized principles, which we believe is the next major step for DeFi adoption.
Thank you, James, for enlightening the community how Soras actually stand out, right, in the space. So basically, this competitive edge is something very important for every project to characterize, right? Because, it's very important to stay along the curve of this very competitive space. Thank you, James, for that. We're very impressed to hear that from Soras. Now, moving forward to another important question that we would love to ask. Actually, James, this is a very crucial question, okay? Because for a lending protocol, security is paramount. As always, that is truly a given. So, James, what steps has Soros taken to ensure the safety of user funds against the smart contract vulnerabilities or even the external attacks?
Yes, thanks for the question. Security is our non-negotiable priority. Our smart contracts have undergone multiple rigorous audits by top-tier blockchain secure firms. We also have a dedicated internal team running continuous stress tests and bug bounties. Crucially, our decentralized governance models acts as a further security layer. Any updates or changes to the protocol must pass a time-locked governance vote, providing a window for the community and auditors to scrutinize the code before deployment. We believe in defense in depth, audits, bug bounties, and slow, transparent governance.
Thank you very much, James, for that. That is very reassuring for everyone to hear because, as we know, security is a major concern in this space, right? So it's really important that you guys are really putting all of these measures, all of these efforts, right, to secure the users as well as their funds inside Soros. Thank you very much, James, for that. Once again, that brings the assurance and the peace of mind to the people. Now, moving forward to another important topic that we should be discussing on this AMA. So, James, I believe we also mentioned about the XAU token, right, that you guys have, right at the very center of your ecosystem. So, James, beyond the governance voting, what other utilities does the XAU token have within the Soras ecosystem, and how is its long-term sustainable value maintained over time?
Yes, the XAU is central to the ecosystem. It provides utility in three main ways: governance, as discussed, staking rewards, where holders can stake to secure the network and earn a portion of the protocol's fees, and crucially, it acts as a backstop of last resort for the protocol. In extreme shortfall events, XAU stakers may be the first to absorb losses in exchange for higher rewards, which creates an incentive structure for long-term commitment and risk management. This utility aligns the interest token holders with the long-term success and solvency of the protocol.
Thank you, James. It's really fantastic to know that the XAU token is not just having a single function, but it's multifunctional, all running all throughout the ecosystem, right? So basically, I believe everything flows right at the center of the ecosystem, which is the XAU token. So thank you, James, for that. That's really fantastic for us to hear. Plus the long-term sustainability value This is really important, right? Especially for our holders out there. Thank you so much, James, for that. Now, moving ahead to another questions, let's take a sneak peek into the future, okay? Let's give the community something to look forward to for Sora. So, James, looking ahead to the next 6 to 12 months, what are the most significant milestones on the Sora's roadmap that the community should be excited about?
Yes, we come to the milestones. We have some major developments coming. First, we are launching our V2 landing pools with advanced features like isolated collateral markets. Second, a focus on cross-chain compatibility is key. We aim to bring Xorus liquidity to other major chains to expand our user base. Finally, we'll be rolling out a detailed plan for our institutional DeFi onboarding and compliance-friendly features. The goal is clear: become the most secure, transparent, and institutionally adopted DAO lending protocol in the space.
Thank you very much, James, for spoiling us with these big milestones, big developments that the community should really be thrilled about. So it's really exciting to know that there's so many exciting things unfolding into the future for us. So thank you, James, for giving us some spoilers. That's really exciting indeed. Now, moving forward to another question, James, that we'd like to ask. Soros aims to bring a revolution to DeFi, right? This is the main whole vision. So, James, in simple terms, what is the single biggest problem you're tackling in the current crypto lending and borrowing landscape?
The biggest problem is the illusion of decentralization coupled with an opaque risk model. Many protocols rely on a few multisig wallets or a handful of core developers for critical operational and security decisions. Xorus is taking this by enforcing 100% transparent and active DAO governance over every critical parameter, particularly the risk controls. We are eliminating central points of failure and replacing them with a resilient, self-governing community, shifting power away from a closed team and into the hands of the token holders.
Thank you so much, James. That's really fantastic for us to hear, right? Well, as we know, there's so many problems that are basically around, right? Especially in the DeFi space. But it's good to know that uh, I think Soros is really giving like a full package solution to everything, right? I mean, this really single pain point, right? Like you mentioned, the illusion of decentralization coupled with an opaque risk model, like you mentioned, right? That is the biggest problem we've seen, and actually, this problem really stems to so many micro problems out there. So, really targeting that major problem, right? It really gives solution to almost everything, in this landscape. So, thank you so much, James. That's really fantastic, very impressive for us to hear. Now, moving on to another question, James. You mentioned full transparency since every transaction is immutably recorded, right, on chain. So, James, how does the DAO governance itself enhance the transparency of the lending and borrowing process specifically?
True transparency goes beyond just recording transactions. For Xorus, it means that the very rules of the game, the interest rate models, the collateral parameters, and the fee structures are not set behind closed doors. They are all codified in the smart contract and subject to public on-chain proposal and debate. Our DAO model means anyone can audit why a rate changed or how a risk parameter was adjusted, providing unparalleled clarity into the financial mechanics of the protocol.
Thank you so much, James. Well, actually, this is really fantastic because transparency is something that is lacking in the DeFi space, right? So it's really great to hear how Soros is really serving this full transparency to, to every process along the way. With the whole process of lending, whole process of borrowing, which I believe this can be a great foundation of trust, right? For all users of Soros. Thank you so much, James, for that. Once again, very reassuring. It really adds to the assurance that you guys are serving to the people. Now, to another question, let's talk markets, okay, James? So, Soros aims to cater to institutional players as well, right? So, what is it about your decentralized, community driven approach that is attractive to the large, established financial institutions who, traditionally favor the centralized control?
Institutions needs two things. Predictably robust risk management. Our DAO structure offers something centralized platforms cannot. Immutability of rules and shared accountability. The fact that protocol changes requires a transparent, time-locked, and widely distributed vote provides a level of non-custodial and regulatory-friendly assurance. It means no single CEO or corporate entity can arbitrarily change terms, which is a powerful form of trust and key paradigm shift for institutional adoption in DeFi.
Thank you very much, James, for that. Well, that's really fantastic. How basically it's good to know that you guys are also serving the most two needed things of this institution. So it's like Soros has really got it all, right? All in one roof, all inside the ecosystem. So thank you very much, James, for that. Now, moving ahead to another question, James, let us talk about the concept of passive income. So, James, how does Soros envision the concept of passive income evolving? Do you think is it just about staking and lending? Or does the DAO model add a layer of engagement to this traditional DeFi activity?
For us, passive income through Xorus is not just a deposit and forget activity. It's an act of participation. When you provide liquidity, you become a stakeholder in the protocol. We believe the true evolution is moving from a passive investor to an active DAO participant. Our members earn passive yield on their assets while simultaneously having the power to vote on the integrity and security of the very pool that holds their capital. This creates a stronger alignment of incentives and a more resilient ecosystem compared to platforms where capital providers have no say.
Thank you very much, James. That's really, really amazing for us to hear. Actually, we love hearing this perspective directly from you, knowing that, the members are really well taken care of inside the ecosystem, right? So it's really good to know that, everything around the Soros ecosystem is all made up by participation, right? It's collective by all users, by every DAO participant. Thank you so much, James, for that. Now, to the last question I got you, James, for today's AMA. As a DAO, okay, as a decentralized autonomous organization, Soros is built to be resilient, of course. So, James, can you explain how distributing the decision making power actually makes the protocol more technically and economically resilient against the black swan events or sudden market volatility?
Oh, yes. So the resilience stems is from decentralized cognitive diversity. In a crisis, a centralized platform must rely on a small team's subjective decision making. In contrast, Soros DAO distributes the power to react across a global community. When an economic parameter needs adjustment, for example, to prevent insolvencies during extreme volatility, it is immediately subject to a community wide governance vote. This wide distribution of decision making power and the requirement for consensus prevents knee jerk single point of failure errors, making the protocol fundamentally more anti-fragile to market shocks.
Thank you very much, James. That's really once again very. It made everybody somewhat complacent, right? About Soros, about how it's more resilient, especially with how the structure of the project is actually designed. So thank you very much, James, for sharing such valuable insights with us. But before we officially close the AMA, James, do you have any closing remarks you'd like to leave? Just any call to action for the community.
So first, Caitlin, thank you so much for all these questions. It was a wonderful EMA. Thanks a lot. I think this is all from my side, and see you next time.
Thank you so much as well, James. And we actually thank you for spending your time with us, for such valuable insights into Soros. The vision. Thank you for sharing this with us because I think it really allowed the people to be how do I say it? It's like their eyes open to the future of decentralized finance. And to the people listening, guys, what truly stands out is how Soros is not just building another DeFi platform, but they are really redefining what true decentralization means through transparent governance, strong security, and a community first approach. So, to all of our Binance audience, guys, your participation and curiosity continue to make this AMAs meaningful. So, thank you guys for your energy, for your participation, and for your support. Remember, guys, that the DeFi space is evolving fast, right? And projects like Soras remind us that innovation is strongest when power and decision making are placed in the hands of the people. So, on behalf of course, of the Binance team, of the Crypto Planet community, we'd like to thank James Walker and the entire Soros team for joining us for today. So, guys, for a final call to action, make sure to follow Soros official channels for updates on the roadmap, governance proposals, and upcoming developments ahead. Once again, thank you everyone for tuning in. That concludes our Amy for today. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, James, and we wish all the very best for Soros.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you so much, James. Have a very fantastic day ahead. Bye bye.